Well, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Today, I thought it would be fun to show you some of my favorite ways to use Kittl. If you are not familiar with Kittl, Kittl is a design software. I've been using Kittl for the last year and a half now. Something like that. Yeah, maybe about a year and a half now. And one of the things that really drew me towards using Kittl when I first learned about it was that it is very print-on-demand friendly. As you might know, I have a print-on-demand business, and part of that is creating designs. What's important about creating designs for a print-on-demand business, you do have to consider commercial rights and graphics and fonts and things that you are using. You have to make sure that you have the rights to not only use them, but also sell them on your products. And Kittl is a platform that you have complete full print-on-demand usage with, which honestly just gives me so much peace of mind. I love not having to overthink and worry if I am not using it properly or in the right way, and if I'm allowed to use this or that or anything like that. I don't have to worry about that with Kittl. I'll be linking some of my more recent Kittl design videos where I create designs from start to finish. So if you're interested in really seeing that full process, creating something specifically for a print-on-demand business, definitely check those out. I'll have those all linked in the description box below. But besides that, let's dive into my favorite ways to use Kittl. If you are new to my channel, hello, my name is Taylor. I am a print-on-demand entrepreneur. I've been selling print-on-demand products on Etsy for the last 2 years. And on my channel here, I talk about print-on-demand, passive income, and entrepreneurship. So if any of those things interest you, then be sure to boop the subscribe button down below so that you do not miss out on any future videos. The first thing that I love doing, and honestly, this was the feature that brought me into Kittl. I saw it in another YouTube video, and it is creating wavy or distorted text. On Etsy, this has been a very popular design style. All you have to do to get this effect is with your text, we'll remove it at first. So we'll just reset the transform here. Normally to start, this is what your text is gonna look like. And I like to use the distort feature for this specific wavy look. So I am gonna go ahead and click edit transform. And what I can do from here is full control. I can just start stretching and moving this exactly where I want it to be. Sometimes it takes a little bit of playing around with it, but essentially you end up getting something like this. And that literally took me, I don't know, what was that, like 10 seconds? And the really cool thing about this is once you create this template per se, you can actually just jump back into this and re-type in whatever you want this design to say. So for example, of course, this just says text, text, text. So say I want to customize this and repurpose it into another design. I can say like, and subscribe. Sometimes when you do change the words, because there's different letters and different letters are shaped different ways, sometimes it kind of gets a little bit distorted, but easy to go in and just make a little modification. I can click that distort feature again, edit the transform like so, and voila. While this is definitely my more common use of the distort features, there are also tons of other ones. So if I just copy that, we can see that there is custom where you have complete control. You can wiggle your letters around and do whatever you need to do with them. There's also circle. So if you're looking to create a text that kind of wraps around, maybe a graphic in the middle, or you just want it to have more of like a rounded circular look, you can use that. There is angle. This one's pretty cool. Arch. This is what I always see when people are creating some of those more like varsity letter style designs. This is the transformation effect that I use to create designs like that. There's also rise, which is kind of like angle, but slightly angled on a rise. Wave, this also could be really great for creating kind of that wavy look in text, as well as flag. I think flag is usually kind of the best use for that. But nonetheless, these are super fun to play around with. The next feature that I like to use is the image vectorizer. As you can see here, I have a graphic that I actually got from Creative Fabrica. If you're not familiar with Creative Fabrica, it is a huge library of graphics and fonts that you could pull from to use certain elements in your designs. I do have a link in the description that gets you 10 free downloads to Creative Fabrica, but Creative Fabrica is honestly, I think, probably the most affordable graphics and fonts option. It is literally, I think for the year right now, the discount that they have is it's $47 for an entire year of use, unlimited downloads, unlimited fonts, graphics, anything that you can download from there. Definitely check that out if that's something that you are looking to try. But I found this little Mary Katniss graphic, and what I like to use here in Kittl is the image vectorizer. What this is going to do is it is going to pull apart the colors of the image that I have and allow me to customize the colors of them. So in this case, I tend to, depending on the graphic, but if it's an image like this where there's tons of different colors going on, I like to just expand this all the way to 16. You can play around with how many colors you want it to pull from, but I like to do more and then I can always modify it from there, but you'll see that in a sec. After it has vectorized all of these colors, I have the ability to see all of the colors being used in this graphic right along here. I see their hex codes alongside of them. Now what I'm able to do with all of these colors is change them. All I have to do is just click into it and I can start modifying the color that is selected. So maybe I want this to be a little bit more of a bright red as opposed to the more muted red. Maybe I want to change the green. I mean, I could go to a completely different color. Maybe I want it to be blue or black or whatever color I want it to be. I have full control over that by vectorizing the image. If you don't always have the best eye for color, which is me, I'm describing myself, sometimes I don't always have the best eye for color, one of my little secret tips is pulling from a color palette. In Kittl, you can browse the color palettes. So there are tons of color palettes that are already preset of colors that naturally are going to look good together, so you don't have to overcomplicate it for yourself. Sometimes I'll just do a little scroll through here and see if there is a different color combination that I like for the graphic. And with this, there are tons of cute options. I kind of like this one right here, so I'm gonna just click that. And just like that, my graphic has been changed. Some of the other image tools include a background remover as well as a image upscaler. So that is perfect for if you have an image that isn't the highest resolution, which is important if you are creating physical goods like I am with a print on demand business. I need the image to be super high resolution, super high quality so that it prints really nicely on the products that I sell. Now, a tool that I use a lot that I think is kind of hidden is the eraser tool, and it is right up here. And what I use this for is for instances like this where I've pulled a graphic from Creative Fabrica and I don't really love all of it. I use the eraser to get rid of the parts that I don't love. For example, I love this graphic in the middle, but I don't love the text or maybe even the stars around it. I can use the eraser tool to erase that part of the graphic and then customize it for my own use from there. And just like that, I've erased all of those parts. The other day I created this design, and this next feature is one that I like to do as my finishing touch on a lot of designs that I create. I am going to go over to textures, and my favorite thing to add to my designs is the grunge texture. I specifically really like the way that this looks on print-on-demand products, specifically apparel products, which is what I primarily sell. Of the textures, I love to use the grunge textures. I typically always just use this first one right here, but there are tons of different options with this grunge texture. When I add it on, what you'll see, and if I zoom in here, it adds this speckled look to the design. Now, I do not like to leave it like this. There's a couple little tweaks that I like to do that I think just really elevate the look of the design. So to get this out of our way, I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. That way you can see exactly what I'm doing and where the texture is over here. The first thing that I'm going to do is clip content. This is going to apply that texture only to the graphic or the design that I have created. The next thing I'm going to do is click this color burn. My favorite option is called Alpha Mask. They just rearranged this menu when you open this up here. So Alpha Mask is actually at the very bottom, and this is a very much trust the process type of moment. I understand scrolling over this right now, you might be looking at the design and thinking, where's this going? But watch what happens. So when I click Alpha Mask, what that does is it changes those little black bits that were on the design, and now they look like they're white, but the reason that they look like they're white is actually because they are transparent. It is see-through, so if I were to actually scroll up here and say we just change the color of the artboard and then scroll back in, you can see now they look black. It is just a transparent grunge effect, and I just like the way it looks. It's just been a personal preference of mine. I've gotten really good feedback in customer reviews for some of this like distressed grungy look. I think when it comes to apparel, it is something that is just kind of a trend. There's tons of graphic t-shirts that have this distressed look, so I think it just kind of falls into that category of design. Another thing that you can do, sometimes it might feel a little harsh. I will adjust the opacity. Sometimes I'll just bring that down a little bit and it isn't quite as intense of a grunge effect. But this is definitely a feature I could not live without. My fifth favorite feature is the templates that are in Kittl. This is something that I've talked about before on my channel, but it is something that I think is incredibly helpful, especially if you're new to designing. As you can see here, there are tons of different templates that you could use as inspiration to start your design. Have some format in place so that you can then go in and customize the text, maybe customize the graphics, change the colors, things like that. And I think it's just a really great source of inspiration. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, Kittl is very print on demand friendly. So you actually do have full commercial rights to use these different templates. It is all completely available to you with a Kittl account. These templates are always changing too, because they are actually made by other creators. You'll see usernames underneath of them. And so sometimes when you find a template that you really like and you enjoy the style of it, I think it's really good to actually follow the creator, because if you like their design style, then they probably also have other designs that you might enjoy using as well. If you wanted to get started with Kittl, I do have a link in the description as well as a discount code that will save you a little bit of money if you wanted to get started with one of their plans. I always love hearing what types of videos you want to see next or you want to see more of. So if you enjoyed this video, this style of video, or if you want to see more full design tutorials, definitely let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video if you haven't done so already. And as always, I hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.